Hello, everyone. Welcome to Jump Up Supercast, the only podcast on the internet where we're willing to say, hey, Activision, if you're looking for like another place to invest $100 million into, we're right here, baby. I'm Will, and joining me today, Brandon.
Hello, everybody out there. It's me.
Noah.
I was going to make a witty comment, but I was thrown off by Brandon's sexy voice.
Saf.
Give us $100 billion and we will make the shittest show you have never seen before.
Ills.
What Noah said.
And Moozamil.
Did Saf say we'll make the shittest show? That will, like,
Yeah.
He lives in a toilet.
Yeah, invest money and we will make the worst product we possibly can. You know,
I'm being
You know what?
realistic.
They respect the honesty that Sophia brings to the table.
Oh yeah, that's how you talk to investors. You know.
Yeah, they know. This is the Shark Tank.
Mhm.
How are we doing this week, boys?
I'm doing just dandy.
Doing real good.
You know,
living.
I mean, you know, at the best, we do have that. Second week of 2019, I'm back after being gone last week.
Oh yeah, you
Welcome
were
back.
gone last week. Welcome back.
Uh-huh.
Back.
I listened twice to that episode. It was a good episode, you guys. Don't want to brag on air, but I'm proud of you all.
Hey, well, look at what we can do.
Mhm.
We
without
should
you.
do more
You
episodes
taught
like
us
this.
well.
Only holding you back. So, with that being said,
Wait,
job,
is it
Brandon.
because you're back that you were talking about Welcome Back Carter earlier?
Cotter, yeah, I mean, it's all in that. My headspace is just there right now. But let's get into it, boys, because, you know, we got some stuff to hit this week, but originally it was going to be no news. No news. It's early 2019, you know, video game publishers, they're waiting. And then, hot off the presses when we're recording this, literally 2 hours ago, the seventh member of the podcast, I'm back, so he's back, Jason Schreier, publishers on Kotaku.com. Hey, Activision, Bungie, you know that game Destiny? They're not together anymore, and Bungie gets the kid in the divorce.
Whoa.
God damn it, Karen.
Yeah. So this is, I mean, kind of out of nowhere, at least on the public-facing side of things, but apparently it's been a long time coming behind the scenes. It's just, I mean, that's what I said. It's Bungie now has full publishing rights, full control over the Destiny brand, is no longer working with Activision, and this is a big deal. Because, I mean, I guess we can just mention that Destiny is like an important game when we look at the scope of this whole console generation, right? It's been there since the beginning. PS4 unveil, a centerpiece of it, is here's Bungie on stage, the guys that made Halo, now making games on every system, now working with a third-party publisher. This game is going to have a 10-year plan, baby. The character you started in Destiny 1.
Oh my god.
10 years
lie.
down the line, gonna still be playing as him. And then that didn't happen,
Nope.
right?
Well, how long did they go for? It's been.
I mean, it's been but Destiny came out in 2014, so 5 years. They've been halfway through. Halfway.
Well,
Wait, it's
but
good enough.
famously, Destiny 2, you cannot carry your character
Yeah.
over from
What are
Destiny
you guys
1.
talking about?
Shh, look, listen. Look, we don't
Wow.
we don't talk about that. All right. All we know is
I mean,
that-
I never played Destiny, so I was like, whatever.
Yeah.
I didn't really care.
But I mean-
but this is crazy though, because like, I mean, Destiny was a huge IP this whole generation. You know, even if both Destiny games, I guess, bungled a lot along the way, right?
Mhm.
Still a huge game. It's crazy though that Activision was willing to part ways with it. I guess they just weren't seeing the returns. I think we heard
Well-
when Destiny Forsaken came out that like
Yeah.
they were not
I mean,
happy.
Part
So-
of it too, though, and I remember this back when it was first announced, Bungie famously was burned a little bit by the fact that they couldn't take Halo with them, right? Microsoft
Right.
owned Halo, not them. And a big part, apparently, of the behind-the-scenes negotiations, because they were talking with multiple publishers, is we want the rights to the IP, not you.
Oh, that's fascinating. I did not
yeah.
know about that.
And so, I mean, that was perhaps smart investing because we now see that paying off here where they get to keep the rights, which is crazy, right? Normally, the big publisher's the one that walks away with the IP and finds someone else to work on it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
instead now, Bungie gets to, I think, sort of get another swing at it, hopefully, because I was thinking of, like, Destiny on the way home. I not played a ton of Destiny, but you know, it's a thing that I'm aware of, and I feel like from everything I've heard, Destiny is a good game with a bad model, right?
Yeah.
because the whole thing was that Activision wanted a yearly release with Destiny, but they also didn't want to do a new yearly game. And so what they did was this expansion thing where you would get 2 expansions a year, $20 a pop, right? To stay caught up very quickly. Destiny 1 was over $200 if you bought all the expansions, right?
How much value were the expansion packs though? Like,
Oh,
was it
oh,
like
of
half the
wild-
game?
They
Like,
were
no.
expensive.
They were-
because not
Yeah,
only,
but like how much content did it actually give for
It
the
varied
game?
wildly, right? There were some where you say this is worth it, and there were some where you say that was like 2 missions and I finished it in a couple hours.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like the Taken King was one that was very well received, I think, overall. But then you but the pay model was real weird because it was like you would buy a season pass first of all for like I think $30 or $40. You'd get 2 expansions with that, and then the next year the big boy and that would come out over the course of a year, and then in September the big one would come out, like the Taken King, the Forsaken, the Iron, whatever. And that was a separate $40 purchase, and that $40 purchase also had a season pass that you could buy on top of that, and so like to keep up with the content, you were paying a lot of money every year. And in a world with Fortnite, that just doesn't make sense,
Yeah,
It's just
and that was part of it, I think.
Or it
It's
just
just
feels
like,
it's like part of Activision's like MO basically.
Yeah.
They're kind of like this is like what they're doing with Blizzard, right?
yeah. I mean, I was thinking because like World of Warcraft at the height of its popularity could not manage multiple expansions a year, right? Like there's just only so much you can make in a time frame. And so
No, but the expansions with World of Warcraft were fucking massive.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I mean, they had time to work on it, and so people liked WoW. They stuck with it, paying monthly. Where with Destiny, you saw the drop off because they're just, a MMO is a different game than a shooter, but they tried to make a shooter fit into an MMO format.
Yeah.
it's partly weird to me, this whole breakup though, because like from the rumors we had heard, like kind of like what was swirling about was, well, for one, besides rumors, actually, Destiny actually did become part of like the Activision machine.
Yeah.
It was they devoted a lot of their internal studios to helping with Destiny, right? Like Vicarious Visions and High Moon Studio, a couple others, and so for it to be completely removed from Activision now, right? That's crazy in of itself, right? Because Activision, because it wasn't just Bungie that was making this game. They devoted so many internal resources to make Destiny happen. So I wonder where all those studios do now. Like are they now just put on COD? But that's a lot. That's a lot just to put on that one franchise. And I think Activision needs more than Call of Duty.
I don't know. Maybe maybe get creative, make a new IP for fuck's sake.
Sure.
If that's asking for too much or anything, be innovative. Holy shit.
Can you save your stuff for the prediction section?
But Destiny was one of the 2, I think, big IPs that sort of walked into the room in the unveils, right? It was PS4 had Destiny, walk on stage and be look at us, and then Microsoft had Titanfall, right? Where it's like, look at us, we're the Call of Duty 4 guys, we did it, and we're going to make this new thing. And both of them, I think partially because of the publishers, have not found the success that you would have thought walking in, right? Like, and so I think that it's going to be interesting because that the story has been like that Activision, apparently there were reports that when they announced to the meeting, there was a meeting today, Thursday, that not telling the team about the news. Apparently there was uproarious applause at the news that they were going to separate from Activision. So clearly internally there was a lot of tension between the developer and the publisher. And so it'll be interesting now to see them just sort of have a chance to break out and go their own way and not have to worry about the annualized release stuff. Because, I think everyone sort of said the gunplay in Destiny is some of the best out there, at the core, Bungie still knows how to make a good shooter, but it's just the structure surrounding it was the problem.
What you were saying about Destiny and Titanfall, it feels like those 2 games were like always on the precipice, but never really got big the way they were meant to.
Well, Destiny 1 got super big. I think that Destiny 1...
I think it got big, but I feel like it fell off really fast.
Yeah, and it was also presented, like with the 10-year plan as this is going to be the next biggest franchise in video games.
Yeah, I feel like people got really tired of it, like really fast.
Really fast. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely agree with that.
So I mean, it never really blew up the way like it was expected to, like the makers of Halo, that kind of shit.
Yeah.
But the other thing I was gonna say, I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry.
It's all right. I mean, I guess we can throw it to here. So like, do we I guess fundamentally ask, do you think we see a Destiny 3?
Yeah. I mean, it's weird though because we had heard there was like murmurs that Bungie was gonna make a new IP. So like for them to be like, all right, now Destiny's fully under our control, in a lot of ways they're kind of promising that, hey, we're still sticking with Destiny. So like, I wonder what that means for any other game that they had planned. Number 2, I would say that whenever Destiny 3 happens, very high likelihood that Epic Games nabs it for PC.
Yeah. Because for the time being, there's going to stay on Battle.net, Destiny 1 and 2.
Yeah. So Destiny 2 will be on Battle.net, but, where Destiny goes from here, who knows?
Yeah,
so.
Which famously, it was 2 months ago now, they gave away Destiny 2 for free on Battle.net, which I think was an indicator of the state of the franchise, like clearly they were sort of trying to drum up interest again.
Yeah, especially when it came to Forsaken that was coming out. And
yeah.
I feel as though Destiny 3 is like a good way for them to restart and like kind of like get something that's closer to what they wanted to go for in the first place without any of the fuckery with Activision.
I think though, to be fair, a lot of people attribute like everything wrong with Destiny to Activision. Yeah. But like I think, to be fair, Bungie probably has some of the blame there.
Oh yeah, I think they definitely got over ambitious with Destiny.
Yeah, that
True.
sounds about right.
Yeah, the 10-year plan is a bit over ambitious, but
yeah, and so but I think that they've like learned the lesson a little bit. They've sort of like gotten snapped back to reality and sort of had to be like, oh no, like let's just put out a game every 2 years that people like, because we have living games now, right? We have Rainbow Six Siege, we have Overwatch, we have Fortnite, we have these games that do get years of support and grow in popularity, right? Rainbow Six has more players last month ever, and that game came out 2.5 years ago, So like there's a way I think where they can modernize their sort of release cycle and the way that they have like stuff coming down the pipeline and have Destiny be a genuine beloved game.
Yeah, I mean stuff like Rainbow Six and I said Fortnite earlier. That I think like for that kind of game, I think the pay model is clear, right? Like all content updates should probably be free. I think it's the best way to keep the player base not dropping off, and you just monetize through cosmetic microtransactions.
Yes.
Yes.
God bless.
That's the way. I mean, Overwatch does it with great success.
Yeah, and that's a game that's a game that's made by Activision. Like even Activision figured it out.
That's the modern pay model for that type of game.
That's all I could ever ask for. Just please. Yeah.
But then,
like, I'm willing to spend honestly, like, I'm more willing to spend money on stupid cosmetic shit than I would be for like an expansion or like.
But I mean, having this like $40 wall to stay up to date with your friends is intimidating.
Or
no,
new
but
characters and
there's
stuff.
a fundamental difference between these games. I mean, Destiny has a story mode. Destiny has like raids, right? It's not like
but like you.
But Destiny also has PvP too, right? Like there's
but that's not the core of it. That's
but
not
I think
the
story
focus.
Stuff too you could do for free. I don't think that has to be behind a $40 pay wall.
Right.
No, I'm just saying these games are not exactly one-to-one comparison.
Sure. But I think doing like a WoW type expansion, right? That's genuinely like here's half a game that's half the size of the original game for $30 is something that you can justify once every year or 2 years, right? Probably.
That's what Monster Hunter Worlds is doing with Iceborne expansion.
Yeah. And in the meantime, they added a couple monsters along the way, but they did a lot of events in Monster Hunter, right? And that was I think helped keep the player base up in a way that helped it is going to help it in the long run. So I think that they can look at that stuff and look at the lessons they've learned since 2014 when they were putting all this stuff into motion for Destiny 1, and I think make a game that more people can comfortably look at and say, I want to give this a shot. Like I've heard good things about the actual game itself, and I don't have all the other icky stuff that made me not want to try it out of the way. So yeah, we'll see. I mean, that's stuff that's going to be years down the line, but this is hot like we said, you're gonna hear this is gonna be a couple days old. But when we were talking about it, it right before I went into work today.
We want
Yeah.
we want the credit. We're here first.
Yeah.
We want
just because you didn't hear it from us first doesn't. We were still first. All right.
Yeah.
We're still first, all right? Listen here. But, that's it, and that stuff will happen in 2021, 2020, whenever. We're going to get right now into predictions for the year of our Lord 2019, all right? But to steal a Paul Heymanism, these are not predictions. These are spoilers, because everything you're about to hear in the next segment is guaranteed to happen.
Yes.
Thank you for using that.
No problem, Brandon. That one was for you, my dude. So I mean, I there's a game that I've played before called Fiasco, right? And halfway through Fiasco, it's like a board game. Halfway through, they had it in a tilt, and the tilt is supposed to make things get crazy in your story, right? So I think that we're sort of gonna have one prediction if we want that is reasonable, that is logical, and then we're gonna throw in the tilt, which is where we're gonna get wild. Okay. So Muzamil, you're a man who is insane.
I've been told.
Oh, we're starting off with this guy?
Yeah. So let's start with you and get it out of the way.
Oh, okay, all right. So, to be honest, you're not wrong. I am insane.
Sure.
So, starting off, this is not my crazy prediction, mind you, but I will mention it anyway, as my normal quote unquote prediction. I think that I look at the release calendar this year for the Nintendo Switch, and I'm like, what is missing? What is missing this year, right?
Okay.
And the answer that I keep coming back to is Super Mario. Okay? Mario, you can tell me, New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe launching this Friday. That is not enough, though. You look at the history of Mario releases per platform per year. It is multiple per platform. All right? The New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe does not cut it. Okay? And so I thought to myself, I was like, what are the reasonable options here, right? Mario Tennis just came out. I don't think Mario Kart's coming out anytime soon. What could it be? What could it be? 2D Mario is not happening. We're getting New Super Mario Bros. U.
So a lot of preamble.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, what is it?
I have to go through my thought process here, And
Okay.
the answer I come to is Super Mario Iliad. All right? It is the successor to Super Mario Odyssey. It
Okay.
will have. It
so
will
gross.
have.
Okay.
It'll have Odyssey style worlds, right?
Okay.
But there will be certain actual platforming challenges in here. They'll show it
Okay,
off. They'll make a point to show it off.
I'm
Okay?
gonna let that shot across the bow pass and let you keep going.
Wait,
wait.
you know the Iliad came before the Odyssey, right?
And you know
Prequel.
what?
Cap these origins.
It's a prequel for when Mario games had actual challenge.
Shut
okay?
up. Shut up.
Wait,
You're stupid.
Oh my
wait.
god.
And-
This is supposed to be his
Okay.
reasonable prediction?
This is the reason.
What the fuck?
Okay.
So
This is a
Super
bad
Mario
start.
Iliad coming out.
Okay.
That was a good. That was a nice thing, is saying that Odyssey's going to have a sequel or slash prequel, I guess.
Yeah.
If you want to call it Iliad.
Hey,
but,
Galaxy 2 was a prequel.
Galaxy 2
So-
Galaxy 2 is weird. But I mean, so the biggest thing here is that this would be pretty fast turnaround from Odyssey 1. How do you justify that they get it done in like a year and a half,
Well, I
a year and a
mean,
half
In
basically?
2 years.
They
This will-
already have like the engine and the assets. If they just Galaxy 2 came out fairly pretty quickly after Galaxy 1, didn't it?
If you look at the 6 years after Super Mario Galaxy, okay? In 6 years, in that time span, they got out 3 games. They got out Galaxy 2, 3D Land, and 3D World. So, on average, every 2 years,
Yeah.
So this team is pretty efficient, and so I see no reason why they can't pump out another one this year.
Okay. All right. So I mean, I can see there being another Mario. I don't know if it being Odyssey 2 is the thing, but
This first,
It'd be tough, but it's not impossible.
Give me Paper Mario or give me that.
Dude,
Oh my god.
Be careful
Oh,
what you wish
baby.
for. You got Paper Mario last time.
Hey, Color Splash underrated. All right.
I personally
Right.
like this idea because I'm having images in my head of just Mario visiting New Donk City and we get to see fucking Pauline's campaign for mayor. That would be the.
I was imagining Mario in the Trojan War, like behind like a
Yeah.
chariot. That too.
Mario
both-
meets
both are
Assassin's
feasible.
Creed Odyssey, apparently.
Oh, it's already had Odyssey in the name. It was a hint. That's what Ubisoft's going to
see?
be working on.
Yeah.
All right. So Muzamil, that's your first one. What's the crazy one?
What's the crazy one? Okay, so I had to put some thought into it. I was like, how do I go beyond my usual self?
Okay, go.
Oh,
Go, just go even
God,
further.
man.
Plus
Oh,
Ultra.
there we go.
I got it.
And this one was a little hard. I couldn't really think of what to say, but then it struck me. All right, it struck
Oh
me
no. Okay.
in the middle of the night. I was like, aha!
Mhm.
So, Pokemon is coming out
Yeah,
this
dude.
year.
Okay.
Pokemon, the 8th generation of Pokemon,
Okay.
Yes.
and
I like where this is going.
I believe this game will be revolutionary. Okay.
Okay.
You think that Pokemon is pretty? It has a very steady schedule. It kind of follows up.
Are you going to say the cursed words? Say the
Ah.
cursed words, you coward.
This will be the Breath of the Wild of Pokemon.
There it is.
okay?
He did it.
There
it is.
And what do I mean by that? Okay.
Right.
All right. Because
It'll be the best Pokemon game ever.
This year is
Nope.
kind of lacking in traditional GOTY contenders, right? This is the year Pokemon's gonna take it. That is the tilt of this. Pokemon will be the consensus game of the year in the year of our Lord 2019.
Hot
Wow.
take.
That's a hot
It's-
take.
I
That is
like
the hot
that.
take.
That's what Muzzy.
I like that hot take though. Yeah.
That's the best hot take you've ever had.
It's gonna
can't-
have a
Pokemon at the
big
Keeleys.
open world. It's gonna, you can go anywhere you want. It's gonna be gorgeous. The most beautiful Switch game you've ever seen.
You can control the camera.
You can
I don't know
control
about
the
most
camera.
beautiful Switch game I've
Uh,
ever seen, but
When
ready.
we see it for the first time, a single tear will shed along our face.
I believe
as
it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Pokemon.
Yeah.
Game of the
Alright,
year
yeah.
2019 is Pokemon.
Okay.
Again,
All
that's not super far fetched. I mean, Pokemon is like one of the
Far-fetched is
biggest
a Pokemon.
franchises of anything. So
Not traditional awards.
yeah,
bait,
Pokemon
though.
never wins Game of the
Yeah.
Year.
Pokemon
Yeah,
does
it's
not
true.
win awards, but this is the year.
Maybe if it has
This
the
is the year.
graphic stylings of Detective Pikachu. Maybe.
Oh no. If Pikachu swears, it will get a Go to You nomination. Okay. Well, Muzamil, that's good. I think that's a good baseline for what a tilt should be. You did it. My tilt is not as good. I feel bad now, but I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna be up next. Brandon, what do you got going on in your dome piece?
Oh well, let's. I guess we're starting with a regular prediction, and not too crazy. This one is. I was thinking about lately. Nintendo's got their paid online service, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they really gotta. I think this year they're gonna have to try to step it up with giving people a reason to pay for it. Most of the games other than Smash have came before, and people were able to play those games for free. So I think they're going to be kind of not necessarily shoehorning multiplayer into some of their games, but multiplayer is going to be a big aspect. You got Animal Crossing, that's going to have multiplayer guaranteed, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pokemon multiplayer guaranteed.
Mm-hmm.
But a game that they're coming out with, although this isn't even a guaranteed 2019 game, but I feel like it probably will be. Metroid Prime 4.
Oh,
Okay.
baby.
The return of multiplayer.
yay!
Coming back
I love
to the
that.
series, I feel like I feel strongly that when Metroid Prime 4 comes out, maybe not at first, but maybe the second reveal will show off multiplayer and
Okay.
a big revamp. They've tried multiplayer Metroid Prime before, Metroid Prime
Yeah,
Hunters.
Metroid
Yeah,
Prime 2
yeah.
Echoes, and I fucking love the
Yeah,
multiplayer in that
Metroid
one.
Prime 2 and Metroid Prime Hunters. Metroid Prime Hunters, specifically was just focused on multiplayer. The story mode was garbage, but the multiplayer was kind of fun. I think this game, they're going to bring it back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Do
hope
you
they
think
bring
that
back,
the hunters will return? Will we play as
Yeah.
characters other than Samus?
I was
What
gonna
does
say
the
that.
multiplayer entail?
That, I didn't really think about too much.
That's fair.
Okay?
Honest
I'm
answer.
just saying. I think, it's a very strong possibility that Metroid Prime 4...
Blast Ball 2.
There we go.
I'm glad we're on the same train of thought there, Seth.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I think it's a safe bet. I don't know. They're going to try to push that online, buying that service, and what better way to do it with, adding more multiplayer into their games.
That's fair. I like that idea. And who's the guy that they say they want to continue? He's at the end of Prime 3, Silex. He's in Hunters.
Silex.
So
Yeah.
we already got one guy maybe in the game. So
Oh
who
yeah,
knows?
yeah, he did make an appearance in Metroid Prime 3.
You know, we actually don't know Silex's gender. Just want to point that out.
Oh, we're gonna
Could
do
be
the
a girl.
twist all over again.
Yeah,
30
big
years
old
later.
twist. You think Metroid can't pull that twist again? Boom.
Watch out. All right, Brandon, what is your tilt?
All right, I'm gonna go off the deep end.
Okay.
Just, I'm gonna pull from my wish list here. It's a wish list tilt.
Hey, Doc.
E3, Capcom's gonna revive one of their IPs.
Okay.
All right, big reveal. Nintendo Switch exclusive. Beautiful Joe 3. They're pulling in.
yeah.
They're pulling them in.
Oh.
Platinum Games is back.
It's time.
They're gonna develop it. It's time. The original developers of Beautiful Joe are back, baby. Henshin and Go-Go, only on the Nintendo Switch. Let's do it.
I respect that.
I feel like if anybody's listening to this right now, we need to make sure that these are not real.
These
No,
are
these are-
100%
these are spoilers.
real.
Yeah, they're spoilers.
And Hideki Kamiya has not worked on a game in a while, right? Scalebound was canceled in January of 2017. It's been 2 years now. By the end of the year, it'll be about 3 years. You know, 3 years for Kamiya's next game being Beautiful
Yeah,
Joe
no
3.
one cares about.
That's enough
No one cares
time.
about Bayonetta 3.
Yeah.
They can just ignore that game. They're just gonna focus on food.
Bayonetta 3,
Kamiya's not
Kamiya's
working
not
on
working
that
on that
one.
one. They are-
Kamiya's not
he
working
didn't
on
work
that
on
one.
Bayonetta 2 either. He's
Yeah.
let her go off to greener pastures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just in time for Beautiful Joe to
Telling
come
you,
back.
his passion project, Beautiful Joe. He's born again. Capcom, they extended the olive branch and they said, "Let's do it."
Brandon,
Capcom.
I'm
This wouldn't
excited
be
for that.
unprecedented. There was rumors that a canceled Okami 2 was in the works. That Platinum was going to work on it, and
Yeah,
It's
I mean, and we
heartbreaking,
also live
but-
in a world where Devil May Cry 5's happening in a couple months. Anything's possible. All right, so I like those, Brandon. Those are feel good. Saf,
Okay.
what do you have for us?
So my first reasonable prediction was something to do with Metroid. Brandon, you piece of shit.
No.
So, basically, like I remember predicting. I believe I was predicting like Metroid to come out in 2019. But since the Game Award happens, I no longer believe that to be the case because there's no
Okay.
Metroid announcement. I now expect E3 to be the point where Metroid Prime 4 gets announced, and then
Okay.
the release date for Metroid Prime 4 will be announced at the Game Awards.
Okay.
It being in 2020.
What do you think? Early or late 2020?
Shit. Late 2020.
Okay, all right.
This guy.
late
All right.
2020,
No
Metroid
faith.
Prime 4.
Hey, man, give it time in the oven. Metroid Prime 4 is a high stakes game.
Yeah.
Don't want it
They
coming out
gotta,
half
they gotta
finished.
do it justice. They
Yeah.
gotta make it
They
right.
gotta find the right month for it. They gotta find the right date. Yeah.
Seth, I'll be honest. I was looking at 2019 at just the potential releases at what could be coming as well. Just teams that we know are working on stuff we haven't heard about yet. And there's a world where 2019 doesn't need Metroid Prime 4. We're give it the extra months. We're gonna have stuff to play otherwise, and that game comes out. If it's a better game because of it, I'm cool, right? As long as if we have stuff to play in the meantime, I'm gonna be playing Animal Crossing for 6 months. Who cares?
Yeah.
Good,
I've waited 10 years.
It's a good point, but
Or maybe longer. I can wait a few more.
That's true. All right, Saf, what is your tilt?
My tilt. Okay. My tilt is the E3 conference. Right? They're going to be doing their announcements. They're going to be talking about Eternal Darkness 2, Shenmue 3, Final Fantasy 15, Modern Warfare, Metal Gear, Half-Life 3, Kingdom Hearts 3. They're going to be announcing all that shit. It's going to be hot, hot. It's amazing. It's got everything. Every third party's on board. And then it's going to be as soon as the ending comes, it's going to be pitch black. Then a spotlight will shine down and descending from that spotlight as if it's descending from the heavens itself. Shigesato Itoi comes down and in clear, perfect English, he will say to us, the world, that I have been practicing and I have been learning every single part of the English language. Every single slang, every single twist, idiom, so that I can personally translate Mother 3 into the perfect English formalized game.
This is beautiful.
What a fucking scenario.
Yeah.
I feel like I got a novel.
The tilt of
Shigesato
Itoi himself
Itoi.
translating is
Yes.
wonderful.
It's going to be be a HD remaster. It's gonna come out on the Switch, and he's gonna call out Sapphire
Oh my god.
as his
Game that
best
never
friend,
came out.
and then he's gonna leave the stage as if he was never there before.
Oh god, like a thief in the night, just
Yes.
steals himself
Oh.
away
Itoi learning English to do the translation is
for a
just...
Not
full
only-
HD remaster.
Not
of
only
the
learning
game.
English, but every part of English apparently.
Every idiom,
Idioms
every
will be
slang,
said.
everything.
a master of the
He will
English
say-
language.
It fits like a glove, and you're like, oh, that's an idiom. He knows. That's what's happening. Saf, I love that. That's wonderful. Oh man, I love the HD remaster of the game that never came out. Really a good idea.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. I'll go next. Okay, first prediction. This one's gonna be maybe a little. You know what? It's not one that's gonna be hype-inducing, but the rumored Switch revision, right? I don't think it's gonna be a crazy one. I don't think it's gonna be what we're used to. It will just be a replacement essentially for the Switch, right? So there's gonna be, internals will be improved, battery life might be improved marginally. It'll secretly just be a way to cover for the hacking because there's just huge backdoors where people can just easily hack the Switch these days. They're going to upgrade the chip so that doesn't happen anymore. But to go with it, they're going to do a $50 price drop. And Switch is just going to be a permanent $250 console. This is the year where Pokemon, Animal Crossing, these games that hit the wide market, the kids, the moms, everybody of the world, is coming out, and they're going to say, all right, we want it to be a $250 thing because that's where the Wii sung, baby. That's where it sold like hotcakes. So that's what I think for that. And then for my
It's
tilt.
reasonable too, because year 3 feels like the right time for a price cut. So
Yeah. And people are expecting Switch Pro. I think that's a mistake. Do not expect that, hey, now the Kokiri Forest runs in 25 FPS instead of 15 FPS in Breath of the Wild. Not going to happen.
Wait, we're not gonna get Switch VR?
Lord, you just put the actual screen itself in like a little VR headset. That would be a nightmare.
The card
All right. Next up, we
We
have.
got Labo already, so.
We do. We're already there. But my tilt. All right. People talking about where are we going after Breath of the Wild for Zelda? We're going this holiday. Look forward to it. We're gonna have Pokemon. We're gonna have some Mario game. I don't know. Maybe it'll be Mario Iliad. Then we're gonna have a
Stop saying that.
We're gonna have a 2D Zelda, baby. We're gonna have it. It's gonna be top down. It's gonna be using like the Toon Link art style. But listen, Aonuma, he did an interview a while ago. He said, listen, the Switch, you put a game like Breath of the Wild on it, you can't just put out another 2D game that would feel weird after the fact, right? So Grezzo, they've been hiring for a quote-unquote legendary series. They started doing that last year. This game is going to be full, all the Zelda, there's going to be dungeons, there's going to be items, all the traditional Zelda stuff that people complain about Breath of the Wild, still going to be in 2D Zelda to get that fix. Full drop-in, drop-out co-op. You can play that entire game with your buddy. That's what we're doing, right? That's what Grezzo's working on. They work,
That'd be pretty sweet.
Triforce Heroes exists. Then they say, all right, that's how do we combine to make this worth a $60 product? All the Zelda you love, but now there's a co-op campaign right smack dab in the middle of it.
Boom.
That'd be amazing.
perfect for Switch, right? You pass the Joy-Con to a buddy, and
Yep.
And it matches up with
Sign me
all
up.
the games that came out in the third year of the 3DS.
It did. Year of Luigi 2, baby.
Year of Luigi 2. There we go. The other tilt.
There we go.
Worst
The other
tilt.
the worst tilt.
The second
That's
one.
the
almost
craziest
dies,
thing I've
too.
heard so far.
Yeah. But that's, and it will be officially titled the Year of Luigi 2. So next up, Ills, what do you got for us?
Oh, it's me. Well, my normal prediction, I guess it's kind of a normal and tilt at the same time.
Okay.
The normal part is that Final Fantasy VII Remake is actually going to come out this year.
Fuck, that was mine, damn it!
But the tilt of it is that it's actually going to be good.
Oh, I like
Holy
this.
shit. Can you believe it?
Man.
Final Fantasy VII Remake in 2019.
That
It's
would
actually going to be good.
Oh man.
And it's gonna be good.
Like, it's not going to suck. They're not going to ruin it.
I want to question. Is it like the whole game or is it like disc 1 of Final Fantasy 7?
Well, the whole game.
Okay. We're
Oh.
fast getting to tilt territory. I respect that.
Yeah.
Oh man, because
I mean, it has to be.
originally Originally it was episodic, but they're done with that now.
Nah,
They're saying-
fuck that. They changed
Yeah.
their minds. Please,
Good.
nah.
It's just all on one disc.
Yeah, of course. You know.
Well, I mean, they might need 2 discs like Red Dead, but but it'll be one case.
One,
product.
you'll buy $60 and get Final Fantasy VII Remake.
You'll just have to have 6 Blu-rays because it's so massive, But
You know what? I would welcome it. I would gladly swap out every single disc for that. That's exciting. I like that. Final Fantasy VII Remake. I can't I couldn't open my heart to it coming out ever in my brain because it would make me sad. But Ills, you've inspired
I often
hope.
forget it exists.
Yeah,
I
you've
mean, I
inspired
try to
hope,
forget
though.
it exists, but I want to believe it'll be good. I want to
Yeah, I
believe they
respect
didn't
that.
fuck it up.
Yeah.
We all wish for
All right.
things we
And
can't have.
what is your other one, Ills?
I was thinking we're getting Bayonetta 3 at some point, right? And we need more action games, I think. So I think it's time, dust off one of our old favorites. We missed him in Smash, but he'll never be forgotten. Gino, he's getting his own game. Action game, just like Bayonetta. Gino's going in there, guns blazing. He's killing everyone.
He's killing everyone. You will see. He will shoot a man through the head.
I have not seen you any more excited for anything else than this game.
Because it's Gino, baby. He's coming
Gino
back.
character action game. Oh baby, that is a spoiler. See, that's the 100%.
I don't know why.
Man,
I don't know why. When you shouted
thought fucking
Bayonetta
Ozzy
3
was
was
lying.
announced, I genuinely thought you were going to say, alright, Bayonetta 4 is going to be announced at the same time. I was like, what the fuck?
Nah, I don't go for small potatoes like you guys.
no,
yeah, clearly
dude.
not.
Gino character action game.
Oh, you
developed
know
by
it.
Platinum.
Hell yeah.
Boy, that's pretty good.
Platinum's working on Beautiful Joe.
They're busy, but they're gonna handle it. They'll get it done.
They got more
That's
than
true.
one
There
team.
was a
Don't
time
worry
when they were
about it.
working on like 4 games at once.
Yeah.
So you know what? We've said enough, but we've justified it. It's happening. There we go. Gino character action game. Noah, what do you have after that?
Well, okay, so for the first one, it's something I actually kind of want, and it is plausible to some degree, but probably won't happen. But it'd be nice.
Okay.
But for this sake, it will happen. Switch, Fire Emblem, the Three Houses game, the new one that's coming out, is gonna have some sort of compatibility / interaction with Fire Emblem Heroes, the mobile game.
Okay.
And let's see, I guess you'd be able to summon like some of the units that you have on the game to actually play them on the Switch game. That'd be pretty fucking sweet. So
I
then-
mean,
Hey, we kind of had that with Echoes with Amiibo. You'd put in like an Amiibo
Yeah.
of like Marth or Corin, and then they would show up. So yeah, you know what?
That'd be
This
pretty
time it
fucking
works
sweet.
with, instead of doing Amiibo, doing it through Heroes.
Wasn't that in
Yeah.
Fates
Oh, yeah.
and Awakening?
I
Yeah,
mean,
access
Heroes
to,
is
like,
still going
every-
strong, and they keep adding more and more.
Yo,
yeah.
can I get a Lindis amiibo? What's going on here?
Yeah.
Nah, it's just
soon.
I don't know how they're gonna do all the
Fuck you.
seasonal units, but I don't know. But
That'll be weird. But you know, I like that because I mean, like Moose said, we have the precedents that they've willing to bring back characters in the past in Fire Emblem, and 2, they already said with Animal Crossing, whatchamacallit, Pocket Camp, that it would have crossover with the new Animal Crossing when they announced it as a game. Fire Emblem Heroes is a way bigger success on phones right now. They made way more money off of it. Why would they not? They're leaving money.
yeah,
you're
it makes
leaving on the
sense,
table.
right?
Yeah,
But it's also gonna probably be a lot of work because there's so many units you can get in that game.
there's a lot. It would be literally every character from every Fire Emblem basically in one game.
12,
But hey,
12 Lindises is all you really need.
a whole army. That's exciting. And Noah,
You can
what is
literally,
your-
because now you have the character fighting with the army behind them. You can literally just have an army of Lindis.
Bill's actual dream.
That's the way it should be.
And what is your tilt, Noah?
Well, it was gonna be Final Fantasy VII, but Els took that one.
What a
But I thought of a quick alternative. So with Pokemon
Okay.
coming out, Gen 8, it's gonna be everybody's expecting. They said they're gonna go back to the basics, but they're gonna see that Pokemon Let's Go did so well and everybody loved it that they're going to keep all the mechanics that were in it, and the battles are going to be shit. The Pokemon battles, the Pokemon catching encounters are going to be shit, and it's motion controls, and it's not going to be good.
No.
What world do we live in where I am the one who's positive on Pokemon and Noah's negative? What alternate dimension?
We're
did
in a
we
weird
land
timeline
in?
right now.
What kind of stupid fucking asshole prediction was that?
It's a tilt. It's a tilt prediction. That's the whole point.
There is,
Tilt prediction is like
only
the
one-
anti-Muzzy prediction. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
there is a book. There's like a symmetry to this. We start with Moose, we end with Noah. Both are about Pokemon. Both are diametrically opposed. And the guy who likes Let's Go doesn't think it won't be like Let's Go, and the guy that hates Let's Go thinks it will be like Let's Go. What's going on?
That's amazing.
Well, Noah, I hope that your prediction doesn't come true. That's the first one I can say.
Believe me, I'm the one that hopes the most that it's not going to be true.
Yeah,
Well,
gotta
so
have
we
faith,
started this saying everything we said will come true. So I'm curious how this plays out.
baby. Now that we have two things opposing each other,
No,
the
mine.
universe
is a lock.
will implode.
I'm good. Mine is definitely happening.
Well, yeah. I mean,
I
yeah.
don't see how mine's is unbelievable, to be honest with you.
Oh, you know what? It'll be one version will be like Let's Go and the other.
Oh, it's finally come true. Oh my god, that's amazing! I love that. We did it. We solved the riddle. All right, there we go. That's
That
I would say-
actually is a smart solution.
I mean, you have a reason to buy both if you like Let's Go. That is. But there we go. That is our predictions for 2019. I went back. We did a prediction for 2018. Turns out it was back in 2018. Turns out we were guessing where things would be in 2020. So we will know the answer to these predictions before we know the answer to our 2018 predictions, which is weird, but it was our early goings. We were still figuring stuff out.
I know we did a 2018 prediction episode though. We'll figure that out later.
If super fans, please let us know. All 0 of you. So moving on though, it's time, right, for the list.
List.
So last week we had a double header. I was not there for either of it. Saf almost did me real dirty, but then he channeled the spirit of me to help. So I was not as mad at him as I once was. But we had a Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door. Ended up number 6, high up there. Deserves it. It deserves to be up there, baby. That is when you know a video game is good. We also added, what was it? Pikmin 2.
Woohoo.
Pikmin 2, and that's a weird one too. But that one was number 40?
42.
42. 42 on the list. There we go.
Answer to everything.
Oh. It comes to me this week to add a game to the list. And I feel we should explain, new year, just briefly established, the list is not a top 100. It's not like, hey, these are Sonic 06 is on this list. Clearly, it's not what we think are the best games of all time. It is
At the
just...
bottom.
Yeah, it is just, but there's a ton of games that aren't on the list, and they're not there because of any reason besides it's 6 people. All of us pick a different game. We have different reasons why we bring things to the list, and we have to compare them. I think that's the fun of it, right? Is sometimes you have to do apples to oranges.
Sometimes, more like all the time, but
Almost all the time. That's the nature of it, and that's where the fun and the frustration comes from, but it's why we love it. So this
And you
week...
can follow along in the paste bin below.
You're
We
a beautiful
remembered.
man, Isabel. You remember. So there we go. It's my turn, and I, search engine optimization. Guess what's out already, if you're listening to this? New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe.
Oh.
Not gonna add Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, gonna add its weird little stepbrother, New Super Mario Bros. 2.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Why?
Okay.
Okay.
See?
So,
Why?
Because-
Of all the Mario games, why?
Because it's this game, right? People love to talk about how...
I'm gonna add the worst one.
Yeah.
Well, I want to use this to talk about Mario as on the whole a little bit, because everyone loves to talk about how New Super Mario Brothers is creatively bankrupt, how it's the same game over and over. New Super Mario Brothers 2 is proof they are not the same game because it's noticeably worse than all the others.
How is that? That's so weird.
Right? It is an appreciably worse designed Mario game with all the Mario stuff that you still know, right? And so it's that thing that I appreciate, because people say, oh, Nintendo just makes the same game over and over. No, some Mario levels, even in New Super Mario Brothers, have some really wonderful level designs. New Super Mario Brothers 2, it was the B team. It was not the A team of Mario. You can feel it in it. There was a decent idea with the coin collecting, but overall, it was fine.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad, but it was just okay. And when it comes to Mario, that
bad.
feels wrong. Yeah, it feels not right.
Yeah,
right?
They've tried to. They did try. They did at least try to differentiate it somewhat. Like you mentioned the coin gimmick. Like the level design itself, there was a lot more verticality to the level design because of like the raccoons. So they did at least try to make it different. Shame it just didn't work out.
Yes. Because it,
before you put a ranking on it, can I have the honors actually taken from you for a reason?
Okay. All right.
So I think I've played the new Super Mario Brothers series most out of anyone here. I think I've put a lot of hours into each one, and New Super Mario Bros. 2 is the worst one by a wide margin. Okay,
Yes.
but that is not what I'm here to talk about.
I think we've all played all of them.
Yeah, but I've replayed them.
Did
like
you
3
hit 2
times
million
each.
coins?
But so here's the thing, okay? I don't want to talk about how bad it is. I don't want to talk about how the level design or the graphics or the music, which are all terrible. But I do want to talk about a marketing tool they used for this game.
Please.
A promise, I would say, actually. A promise that if I got 1 million coins, that I would get something that would make me feel good.
Okay.
And that was a bold-faced lie. That was a lie. I collected 1 million coins, took like 50 hours of gameplay, okay? Just playing Coin Rush over and over and over again.
What did you
and
get?
all I got was a new title screen.
Yep.
A new title screen. And
my
because look, this is not about anything else. This is the fact that they lied, okay? And lying is bad. And therefore it should be at the bottom of the list.
Should not be at the bottom of the list.
Whoa.
I wouldn't go
No.
that
Like
Okay.
bottom
No.
or in hell?
No.
But I remember the marketing as well.
I'm kidding, I just wanted to say that.
I
But
remember the marketing as well, and I remember the interviews as well. And they would always be they'd always say this shit, where it's like, oh, we wouldn't be talking about getting 1 million coins if there wasn't anything significant about it. That's why we were talking about it.
yeah, and they kept teasing it, and they kept, but it was for nothing.
It was a lie.
But Will, actually, give me your actual rating. I just wanted to.
It was weird because I looked and I thought it'll be in like the 35 range, and then I kept scrolling and I was like, that's better. No, that's actually better, and I'm settled below Mario Tennis Aces, I think.
Well, Mario Tennis Aces is definitely better than the new Super Mario Bros. 2.
Well, that's
Wait, where is Mario Tennis
Decent.
Aces?
55.
56.
I think that's a decent spot because, like,
I would put it below.
to its credit,
Should we go
because,
lower?
like,
I don't know if should we go.
I don't think so.
it's still a solid game. I think that it's still like, you know, Mario is still very fun.
Yeah, that's why when you were like, it's terrible, it's still all the things.
I wasn't saying it's terrible. I was just saying that they lied to me.
It's
You
just a
said
game
the
that
word
never feels
terrible.
like it excels, right?
yeah.
I want to put it
But
below
like-
Federation
I
Force.
quickly dropped Super Mario Bros. 2. I just didn't. The new Super Mario Bros.
It's
2.
a very mediocre game.
It's mediocre. Like it's fun. Like, because just I think the essence of controlling Mario is just fun. They have
Yeah.
they have that much down. And like
But that's
it
the
is-
thing. It's something that we're like always experiencing. So that shouldn't be. It's like not that it shouldn't be, but like.
But I'm just saying that like the core of controlling Mario is better than just controlling a lot of games. If we're gonna directly compare.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
And I think that like to their credit, they did, even though it was the B team and even though it was a new Super Mario Bros. Game, so it had that same aesthetic and all, I think they did try weird things, right? Like I mentioned, the Coin Rush mode was actually a really interesting thing to do for Mario.
Yeah, Coin Rush is
basically
maybe
these-
the best thing in that game.
These short little challenge levels, right? Where you had a limited amount of time and you would run through 3 levels and you try to collect the most coins. And that was actually kind of fun,
There was also
admittedly.
like the warp pipe travel. I think it was the warp pipe travel where you just shoot yourself into a cannon. You get into this weird purple and black world, and you just kind of run continuously, collecting coins.
Yeah, it turns into like a little auto run level, and you know, so they try weird things, and to the aesthetic, like I mean, I'm gonna be blunt. Most people cannot tell the new Super Mario Bros. Games apart.
Well, that's
And
the thing,
for
though.
fair
I mean,
reason.
yeah, there's been so
But-
many new Super Mario Bros. Games. Like, this really doesn't add anything new besides the coin mechanic, and that's mediocre.
I do think that I compared it to the other games a lot, right, in the series, and it takes the aesthetic of Wii, but it makes it a lot more colorful, more bright. It like So it does, like, it's more pleasant looking than at least its two predecessors. Obviously, New Super Mario Bros. U blows it out of the water there, but, like, you know,
Yeah.
it's just all around an average game. It's not bad, you know. It's not a bad game.
Yeah, there's nothing really bad about it.
But there's nothing particularly, like, excellent about it. You know, there's never a
I mean,
moment
you
where,
can
like,
say the same thing
I
about
don't-
Knack.
No,
Yeah,
Knack is not a
But
good
Knack
game.
doesn't feel as good to control as Mario does, right? Like, I think that fundamentally, like, Mortal Kombat is a interesting, important fighting game, but if you go back and play it, it does not feel good to control, right?
No.
And so I think that's where my sticking point is. That Mario Tennis Aces does have, you know, it has a lot of stuff missing on the outside corners of it, but you know, like just the feature sets and stuff that people complain about. But at the
That was
core, the
fixed.
tennis, the tennis is still really good though, right?
Oh no,
Like,
yeah,
just-
the tennis is amazing. It's really fun.
Yeah.
Always fun.
Which is why I would want it above Mortal Kombat, below Mario Tennis is why I settled there basically.
Yeah, there's no way I'd put it above Mario.
No.
No.
I wouldn't-
I
I wouldn't put
think
it
that's
above
the
Mario
perfect
Tennis,
spot
no
for it,
way,
right
but-
below. Personally, I think Will found the perfect spot. I don't know if anyone. I mean, Noah clearly disagrees, but where would you want to put it, Noah?
I mean, I think it's.
Oh,
better
I'm not
than
like
Mortal Kombat.
disagreeing. I definitely don't want it above Mario Tennis Aces.
No, I don't think anyone wants it above tennis. So that's not a
I was
sticking
kind
point.
of tempted to put it below Metroid Prime Federation Force because I simply had it was a lot more enjoyable as a game, but
yeah, that's true.
but like the Mario, the fucking Super Mario Brothers 2 is at least a
What
more
about Near
complete game.
Replicant too?
No, I was
Near Replicant,
No.
Near Replicant feels bad to play. We can be honest.
yeah. I am for Near Replicant. I'm one of the people that like
Yeah.
the big stuff, the good stuff outweighs the
Yeah.
bad, but I think that just on a fundamental level, if the game feels bad to play, that's really important. That's a big distinction, and Mario feels
Yeah.
fine. It feels pretty
It feels
good.
like every game below like Mortal Kombat. Well, not every game, but a lot of the games, in below Mortal Kombat have this one common thread where it's like a lot of it is actually really good, but there's just one complete fatal flaw with it.
There's one thing that makes them really
Yeah.
bad.
They have these like
Yeah.
crucial
Yeah,
flaws.
like a flaw.
So
yeah.
putting Mario
know?
Brothers 2 in that particular corner just doesn't feel that right to me.
See, but to me, that's why it does feel right.
No, but that's the
because,
thing.
sure,
That's the
it
flaw. It's
doesn't
like that's
have-
the flaw. Like New Super Mario Bros. 2 is like not a great Mario game.
Yeah,
It's like
no.
the worst of its kind.
But it's still a
that's the
fine
thing.
game. Like I wouldn't put
Yeah,
that as a
yeah.
flaw. It's like
Yeah.
it's not a great game because it's not a Mario game. You know, it kind of feels like bougie for no good reason. You know, it's still a fine game. It's still got good stuff in it. It's just not that spectacular compared to like the other Mario games.
There's just nothing
Yeah.
special about it.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
So where are
Yeah,
you at then,
it's-
Zach?
I just want to put it. I'll stick with Muzzy. I want to put it below fucking Mario Tennis Aces.
All right, I'll go
It's
with that.
at its
I'll go with
core.
that good spot.
Yeah, at its core, it's still a Mario game, but it's like Little Caesar's pizza, right? Like at its core, it's still pizza. It's just not really
No,
that great.
no,
it's
thank
also
you.
$5.
You're completely wrong.
You know, I mean, that's not a particularly bad analogy, Brandon. That's fine. Yeah. So there we go. So I think that's 4. I think that's enough.
Mhm.
So there
Well, I
we
didn't
go.
play the game, so it doesn't.
Oh, okay. I was wondering. Okay. So there we go. Number 54, surrounding the game we just played. Zack and Wiki Quest for Barbarossa's Treasure.
Okay.
55, Mario Tennis Aces. 56, New Super Mario Brothers 2. 57, Mortal Kombat. 58, Metroid Prime Federation Force.
See, and this is why Will hosts. Last time I had a lot of trouble with numbering.
Also, Zach and Wiki is a Game Club episode, so go and check out the
Yeah,
Game
you're
Club.
shilling
So is Mario
bullshit.
Tennis Aces.
Oh yeah, it is.
Speaking of, we are going to have a game club later this week. A SAF pick, One Finger Death Punch. That's a weird game. You probably have never heard of it. So you can learn about it by listening to the episode. Ill, since you did not play the game, so you didn't have a lot of chances to weigh in there, I'll give you the final phrase. But while you think on that, once again, some plugs. Already mentioned the game club. Every other Thursday in this feed, you will find the game club. Every Monday, you will find this podcast you just listened all the way through. Clearly made it this far. Why not subscribe and give us 5 stars on iTunes? If you worry that sometimes your podcast app won't let you know when a thing went live, go to twitter.com/jumpupsupercast, where we will tweet every time we post an episode, because boy, oh boy, at least one of these platforms has got to let you know. We also have an Instagram where sometimes we will tweet about games we're playing on the Game Club. And by tweet, I mean post about games we were playing on the Game Club. Just sometimes Brandon will post memes that he makes. It's a fine thing. Twitch.tv/Jump Up Supercast is where we will stream. Sometimes, Brandon, you said that you had an initiative. Do you want to say that out loud? That relates to last week's episode when it comes to streaming?
Yeah, let's do it. Well, if you listen to last week's episode, we had New Year's resolution games that are on the list, following the pace bin below. And we all have to play games that we haven't played before on the list, or maybe have played but barely touched, only got a little taste. So all 5 games that I was given to, I'm going to stream myself playing all of those games.
And he has some big boys on there.
Yes.
You said that you might be starting with Xenoblade Chronicles, which is a journey.
Oh boy.
That's the one I'm going to do it first. I'm going to get it out of the way.
It's a journey,
hours.
but I would love, I'm gonna have a good time watching you play.
I would love to sit with you
yeah.
just fucking see your experience with this fucking game.
Yeah, we're doing it. 100+ hours live on stream.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I think I did howlongtobeat.com. I got almost 200 hours worth of video games I got to play for the year. So I'm going to be playing them live. Come join me. Maybe some of my other friends from the Jump Up Supercast will pop in here and there.
Hopefully.
They'll be around.
I can't promise anything because I'm still working out schedule stuff, but I will have more free time in soon, basically, because my job is swapping times around. So maybe I can stream more too, hopefully.
But Xenoblade's a good one to ensure that we have, we have a guaranteed 100-hour stream.
That's lock it in.
So
make the playlist.
We'll have content.
Yes, and it's a little cherry on top, or maybe the thing ruining the Sunday, depending on how you view me as a person. But either way, that is the Jump Up Supercast. I want to thank you all for listening this week. And Ills, your final phrase.
2019, The Revenge of Gino.
Good.